Thunder Rolling in the Mountains, Chapter 23. I ran until I could run no longer. My heart raced and my breath came in great gasps. I bent over and placed my hands on my knees. When my breathing slowed, I started off again. I walked as fast as I could. I walked until the stars faded and the sky grew light. I crossed a frozen stream, stepped carefully so that I did not slip. On the far bank I knelt and broke through the ice with a stone. The cold water gave me new strength. Again I began to walk. The sun warmed me. I would walk until I left this land behind. By evening I would be safe across the border. I had not gone far when clouds covered the sky. It began to snow. Driven by the wind, the flakes stung my face. It was hard to walk. I dropped into a gully and pulled the ermine blanket over me. At last the snow stopped and the sky brightened. When the sun appeared, it had moved the space of 2 hands once and then again. It was time to go. Before I could climb out of the gully, I heard sounds. I crawled beneath the blanket and waited. Quietly, I loaded my rifle. Then I lay still, hardly daring to breathe. A single horse galloped past me. I peered from beneath the blanket. On its back was Charging Hawk. His eyes were narrowed, and his face was grim. If he found me, I would pay dearly for my escape. While the sun moved across the sky, I did not stir. The white blanket blended into the snow. From 3 steps away, a rider could not see me. I slept. When I awoke, the shadows were gathering. The sun was low, and the first star shone in the sky. With my hands, I scraped snow from the ground. I ate only a little, enough to stop my thirst. Still I waited. At last Charging Hawk returned. His horse gleamed white in the dusk. Charging Hawk was weary from dancing all night and riding all day. His head was on his chest, and he no longer looked for me. He passed the spot where I lay. I reached for my rifle. I peered down the barrel and aimed it with care. When the gun spoke, the bullet would strike him squarely in the back. Slowly, I began to squeeze the trigger. Then my eyes filled with the sight of bodies strewn across the ground. I saw the dead people. I saw my mother. I saw a swan necklace. I saw Alaka and Fairland. I saw all our dead chiefs, our dead warriors, our dead women, our dead children. I saw the dead bluecoats. I saw them as surely as I had seen them at Big Hole and at Bear Paws. My father's voice spoke in my head. I heard him say, "This hatred sickens my heart. All men were made by the same great spirit, yet we shoot one another down like animals." My finger fell from the trigger. The rifle slipped from my hand into the snow. I did not pick it up. Some time the killing had to stop. I had no hate left. I watched Charging Hawk ride out of sight. It was over. I got to my feet and walked toward the old lady's country.